Good evening, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for August 7, 2014, around 8 o'clock p.m. in Belleville, Massachusetts. The sun is going down, and it's going to be a nice night, and tomorrow nice weather and sunny days ahead. Some news to report. I filled out an online application for Shaw's Supermarket in Burlington, Massachusetts for a front-end clerk position, the same position I had while working at Market Basket Store 44. And guess what? Monday morning at 10:30, I got an interview with Shaw's Supermarket in Burlington, Massachusetts on Cambridge Street and Wynn Street, on the corner of Cambridge and Wynn Street. And this is a good sign that something could happen. Hopefully I get the job. Hopefully, because, you know, it's a tough job economy out there. But I'm putting my name in the hat in anything I could do. Retail, any part-time jobs. There's certain stuff I probably will never do is work at like any fast food place like Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's or Wendy's, because I work at those places. That's the past, and they're not for me. That's all I got to say about that. So keep up just keep your fingers crossed that I'm going to get something in the near future. And my third and final video blog of the night is about one of professional wrestling's most famous play-by-play announcers, Bob Caulde. Bob Caulde was the voice of NWA Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling and Jim Crockett Promotions for years, and he's one of the best announcers of all time in professional wrestling. Bob was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, and before getting into wrestling, he worked as a broadcaster in Wilmington, North Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia, and he was actually a weatherman and anchor. He's actually also worked on the weather for many years on WRAL Channel 5 in Raleigh, North Carolina. In the late 1950s, he started to do play-by-play wrestling announcing for Jim Crockett Promotions in Savannah, Georgia. Eventually, that moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, and he did the play-by-play for the studio wrestling for Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling and Worldwide Wrestling and NW Pro and other programming for Jim Crockett Promotions, and he was a very great announcer. Also, he works the first 4 Starrcade events. Starrcade was a supercard produced by Jim Crockett Promotions, and it was the forerunner to WrestleMania. And some of Bob Caulde's broadcast partners were Gordon Soley, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Johnny Weaver, David Crockett, Bill Ward, Les Astor, Dutch Mantel, Lance Russell, and many, many others. And also, Bob Caulde did announcing for the first few Clash of Champions and pay-per-views for NWA and WCW. By 1991, Bob Caulde left WCW, and he did the play-by-play announcing for South Atlantic Pro Wrestling, which covered the territory of the former Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, but that wrestling promotion did not get off the ground. It lasted a few months until Bob Caulde left, and Bob resurfaced with Jim Cornette's new promotion, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, which lasted from 4 years, and Bob was all part of that for 4 years until Jim Cornette decided to fold Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And after that, Bob retired from calling professional wrestling matches. Bob's famous quotes in professional wrestling is, "Hello, wrestling fans, greetings." And at the end of the show, he would say, "Fans, that's all the time we have for now. See you next week." And so on for now. That's his famous quote. And also, for many years, Bob worked for former Senator Jess Helms, who was a U.S. Senator from North Carolina. He was a legislative assistant for him. He was a legislative assistant for 16 years, and he did that as a side job for his wrestling announcing after he left television around 1980 or so. He did that for 16 years. Bob now is retired, but he appears at Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Fan Fest and stuff like that. He recovered from a heart attack several years ago, and in 2009 he actually introduced Ric Flair at one of these conventions. I think Bob's one of the most underrated professional wrestling announcers of all time. It's good. He never got his due in the world of professional wrestling for announcing, but he was one of the best, and he was like an underrated announcer. And he was good at what he did. Doing the first 4 Starcades is great. I have a lot of his matches he calls on the Starcade DVD, and he is a great announcer and he's not like over the top. He's just one of those good announcers which he calls a match pretty good, and he was one of the best, and a lot of wrestling fans should get to see his work on these DVDs or YouTube or something like that, or DVD collecting, and it's a real treat to hear his matches. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow with at least 3 to 6 more video blogs. Well, I could confirm one of these video blogs right now. It's going to be the 10 greatest players in Edmonton Oilers history, and it's a big it's a great list, and I'll tell you who's the top 10 Edmonton Oilers players of all time, and then probably Saturday is confirmed that it's going to be the top 10 players of New York Islanders history. Sunday, the Pittsburgh Penguins top 10 players of all time, and Monday, the Philadelphia Flyers top 10 players of all time. I've worked all of these lists are all finished, and I'm going to tell you the names. Then Tuesday, I don't know what team I'm going to be working on. Probably be a team that probably won as a cup winner next. Okay? Good night, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, and don't forget, I'm getting good feedback from these video blogs, so you could feed me back, say how good I'm doing. If you want anything said, private message me, and then I'll shout it out to you. Goodbye, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. See you tomorrow.